Miserable day here on the East Coast, everybody. It was just raining pretty much for 24 hours.
You
Just
know,
kind of stopped a little
did,
bit, but I think it might be raining again. I don't know.
did you atone for all your sins here on this Yom Kippur Wednesday?
I did not. I did
You did
not.
nothing, huh? Well, you don't even, Suk,
I'm not a Jew.
I'm a Jew, Suk, obviously.
So this
And
is
and
your season.
Suk, I was trying to think high and low of what I could atone for, and I got nothing.
I think you've been so good this year.
I got nothing.
I think you've been
Suk,
so good. Like,
listen,
so good.
Is Pornhub a sin, Suk? I mean, if that, then just come and arrest me. If that's, you know what I mean. What are you gonna do?
You're so funny.
I've been in the basement for 2 years. I haven't left.
I've been in the basement trying to make it happen, people.
I'm just trying to make it happen. Suk.
I think you've been so good that God is only going to shower the blessings upon you. How's that?
Listen, we were on last night. You said, "Hey, how come we're doing a show?" I said, "Because when you have Brandy Roderick on the show, former Playmate of the Year, the Lord has to wait." Suk, he's got to wait.
I know, and she was great. Boy, she did so many things. We did that game F and Off.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
That was pretty good. I didn't know how that was going to work out.
She dated Hugh Hefner and was a Playboy Playmate, and she also was on Baywatch. Yeah.
And I saw she posted when we, I noticed she was drinking that Prosecco during the show. That's why, Suk, we waited till the end to get her singing a little, Grease, right? So that worked out.
That was her favorite show. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I knew she was friends.
And then I kept on thinking, did she married to Andy Roderick? Like the whole thing.
Andy Roddick, you mean?
Roddick. Okay,
the tennis
there you go.
player?
That's how good whatever.
And you're
but
way
it's
off
Roderick, not Roddick.
Anyway, everybody's loading up, Suk. We got a great show tonight. Philly Kid's going to join us on the back end. Paul Fallhaber is here. Executive producer extraordinaire, longtime EP of the Maury Show. He's got some great stories. You guys worked together back in the day. We got to talk about that. So we have. I love having guys like him on the show, Suk, because I love
he's a creator. He's somebody who's got on the pulse of this industry, and also he's an educator in terms of for our audience, in terms of like how we consume. He was one of those people that basically was behind the scenes on how we consumed information, what we watched, how we watched it. And he knows pretty much every executive.
Yes. And also,
in this area.
I think the gatekeeper of the lie detector test, too, on Maury.
You are not a father.
Right?
He is the gatekeeper to that envelope and that lie detector.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how one phrase, and bingo, you know exactly what show you're talking about. You are the father. You are not the father. You know it's Maury, right?
Yeah, it's Maury. It's Maury. And he just retired, too.
Yeah.
So we have a lot to talk about. I mean, I would wondered what the retirement party looked like. It looked like they had an extravaganza at some location. I want to know all the details.
Yep. And
Paul Fallhaber is coming up.
Paul's coming up. Karamo is taking over that spot. So that show's on now. We're going to talk to Paul in just a second. And also Ryan Pratton, Suk, this guy found on Instagram.
Yeah, he's an Insta celebrity.
As I was strolling through, and he does I think he does like 32 different celebrity impersonations. So we're going to bang through all those with him. Suk, are you ready to rock and roll and start the show?
Let's start the show, Scotty. Let's do it.
What do you say we do that, huh? Here you go.
The Suki and Scott Show.
This is one of the funnest shows I've ever done.
Lady, when you're with me, I'm smiling.
It's musical. It's magical.
Suki and Scott, the seven of hearts. Exactly!
This is a sexy show.
Someone's getting some action.
Now, these larger-than-life personalities are on an exciting new journey as they bring you the Suki and Scott Show.
You guys nailed it. You're great. You ask great questions. You listen.
I answered you because I have respect for you guys, and there was a question respectfully put.
The Suki and Scott Show is your one-stop destination for humor.
You like De Niro and Cape Fear. Counselor!
Entertainment.
Jesse's girl!
Wonderful.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
And optimism.
You guys have such amazing energy.
Ultraviolet light, it gets in there and it just fights the kung flu, is that right? Okay.
Let's laugh together.
I love him.
The Suki and Scott Show.
That's the best intro for a show I maybe have ever seen.
Really?
Your intro is fantastic.
Suk, I was just reading Giselle Bundchen has already been spotted making out with Pete Davidson at a movie theater on Staten Island. It's unbelievable.
That is not true.
It's unbelievable.
No way. Pete Davidson did remove that tattoo. I don't know if people realize. Remember, he got that tattoo. My girl's a lawyer or something like that.
Oh, did he already?
So there was a picture of him on Staten Island, and I love this guy. Not because he's from Staten Island, but he had like a Staten Island T-shirt on. I don't know. There's just something very charming about him. There's just something.
Wouldn't it have made
very,
sense
very charming
if he waited to see if his next girlfriend was at least an attorney, and he just could have kept it on?
Well, I think the whole thing is that, where do you go from Kim Kardashian? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. Where do you go, Pete? Where do you go?
I mean, you look up
Giselle
the word.
Bundchen would be pretty good if you
look up
that.
the word high maintenance in the dictionary. There's a picture of Kimmy sitting right there. No.
Yeah. True. I don't know. She was fined for her cryptocurrency, like $1 million plus.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
For not being truthful to her.
Gotta watch. Listen, when you have 300 million Instagram followers, you have to watch what you're putting out there.
Listen, what is that to her? What is that? It's like the drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Like it's that hurt. She's probably like, let me pay that fine and move on. Whatever.
It's like you going to Mickey D's.
I know.
Suk, here's a little where we are these days. All these fine platforms running the Suki and Scott show. We just added Tubi. That's coming up this month. Fire TV, Apple Plus, blah 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 blah. There's basically nowhere that you can go that you can't find our show these days. And of course, we do our first run live show right here on Facebook Live for our fantastic viewers who have supported us over the last 2.5 years, 342 shows now. And listen, before we bring Paul Fallhaber in,
yes,
a longtime executive producer of the Maury Show, Paul sent me today, Suk. So I'm going to give you a little quiz before he comes on. Because he sent me today, when they do the "you are the father, you are not the father."
Yes.
The lie detector test. Some guys have come up with just some of the best excuses why they are not the father.
Oh, really?
So Paul sent me a list of some of those, and I may have written in maybe a couple that I made up on my own.
So am I supposed to guess what's real and what's not?
You're going to tell me the ones that actually happened.
Was an excuse? Okay.
Was an excuse on the Maury Show, and the ones that I say are real, they're definitely real because Paul said they happened.
Because Paul said so.
Right. So these people, either before or after they took the lie detector test, here's the reasons why they could not be the father. Absolutely not. Right.
Okay.
And they may not be real. I may have thought up some myself. So here's the first one.
Those should be good.
You tell me if the first one's real or fake. Here's the first one. I was kicked in the crotch by a Clydesdale. No way I can have children.
I'm going to say that's true, and that was used in.
That is absolutely true, Sukani. You are 1 for 1.
Ding, ding, ding.
Nicely done, young lady. Here we go. Here's the next one. I'm 74. I can barely make oatmeal, let alone children.
That is not true.
Oh, Suki, so sorry. That is true. I did not make that one up.
Oh, my God. His Schmeckel is still doing things at 74? My God.
No, I'm saying that was his excuse of why he couldn't be.
Yes, he could barely make oatmeal.
Here's another one. You ready? I was in a coma. I can't be your baby's father.
True?
True or false, Suki?
True.
That is absolutely true.
That's crazy.
Here's the next one. I was intimate with 300 women, and none of them got pregnant.
Sure, true. True. It's the Maury Show.
Yeah. I didn't feel any sympathy pains when you were pregnant. I am not the dad.
True.
That is absolutely true, Suk. And here's the last one. Made up or not, here it is. I'm very ugly. The baby's too cute to be mine.
That is definitely true. I could see somebody clearly stating that on the Maury Show.
So I didn't even have to make up any of them. They're so
good,
ridiculous.
They're so good.
But
it's
anyway,
like what we did when Jerry was on, and we had to do which episode was real or fake with Jerry.
He didn't even remember which one.
He didn't even remember how many episodes he's done.
So funny. Well, listen, we're going to play that with Paul later on because I pulled out a couple of episode titles from Maury from before he came.
That's good.
From before Paul joined the show. So I don't know if you would know them all or not. But anyway, here he is, Paul Fallhaber. Let me give. Suk, wait, before we bring him on, this is what's going on in New York City right now.
Can I tell you something?
Right
How
in
funny
Times
is
Square,
this? My
man.
husband was on a job in the city, and believe it or not, he actually saw it. I was dying.
He popped this in?
He popped this in.
Oh, that's so great. I love it. But anyway, so yeah, the billboard up in Times Square. Paul Fallhaber's coming up right here. Let me give you a little look at Paul, and then we'll bring him in on the other side. Take a look.
My name is Paul Fallhaber. I'm the executive producer of The Maury Show. I've been the executive producer since 2005, and I've actually been with the show the entire 20 years. So here's my Maury memory of 20 years. Besides all the staff people who have come in and out of these doors who I love like my family, and all of the guests, we're talking about over 3,000 shows. It's tens of thousands of guests. You come through these doors, you become part of our family. So besides that, there's one Maury memory that I remember that sticks out. Back in the early 2000s, Maury had the idea of doing a retreat with the staff. He said, hey guys, let's go to Montana. I have a house in Montana, and I'd love for you guys to come and enjoy the outdoors. We're riding on horses, we have ATVs, we went whitewater rafting. He called it Camp Povich. Camp Povich, we had the t-shirts. And then the highlight was, Maury says, hey, we're gonna go to Jack Hanna's house for a barbecue. What? And we barbecued. And Maury showed us such a great time, and what it was for our staff was that it was the first time that we all really bonded together. A lot of those people are still with us. We all still work together 20 years later, and it was probably one of the most memorable events of my 20 years here at Maury.
That's amazing. What an amazing
Wow.
thing.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, and forget 20 years. The show went for what, 30, 31?
No, it's 24 years at Maury and 30 years in talk television for myself.
Wow.
Holy moly. Holy
And I want to say
Paul.
two things. Number one, I'm with Eric saying that is the best open ever. And I think I really want to play it like every morning with my coffee just to get my day started on the right foot.
Wait, Paul. All right, listen. I got something for you to get your day going right every day because I watch this religiously. Take 15 seconds, just to cheer you up a little bit. Here you go.
And she speaks 17 different languages. You could have stopped at the son of China's richest man. And we're off, ladies and gentlemen.
Coco speaks Chinese. Get it?
I get
it.
There you go.
That's brilliant.
That'll do it for you.
He loves my wheeze. Apparently, that makes him laugh a lot.
It just brings joy. That just brings joy.
Paul, I'm telling you, that could bring countries together. If you just had world leaders.
Yes, they can bring Putin together. OPEC, everybody come together.
Right, funny.
Unbelievable. Well, Paul,
how you guys doing?
Thank you so much for coming on, my man. Really appreciate you taking the time. I know you got a lot going on, and that's a beautiful bat. You look like you're in a fish tank, for God's sakes. It looks great.
You know what? I'm trying. I'm trying. You know what? With the backgrounds with 3 kids, sometimes there's dogs flying around, there's food, there's fist fights. I was in the basement for a while. I totally get it. Yeah, it's how it is. It gets a little crazy, but this is now my corner for the day, and it looks okay.
I love it. Well, listen, Paul, we've got a lot to talk about, really, and you and Suki have some history together, and we're going to talk about that. But I love to ask guys like you who've been in the business for so long, executive producer, for producers.
30 years.
You worked your way up, and you spent so much time on the Maury Show. When you went to, when you were going to college, and in those days, were you interested in being behind the scenes? Were you taking production classes? Were you taking directing classes? Was that something that you always wanted to do, or did something like flip the switch where you're like, oh man, this is a direction I want to go?
That's a great question. Actually, I went to school to study economics. In fact, I graduated with a degree in English and economics. It was supposed to be economics, but I couldn't pass Calc 2, so I had to switch my major senior year. I don't know. Remember Alex P. Keaton, the character played?
Yeah.
Yes.
Michael J. Fox. That's what I thought I wanted to be growing up. My family worked really hard. My parents, they're still alive. They worked really hard when we were younger. We didn't have a ton of money. We really didn't. So we grew up sort of in an affluent neighborhood. And when you grow up in an affluent neighborhood, you don't have that much money. You want to You want to make money. So I'm watching TV saying Alex P. Keaton, he's my guy. He's like a stockbroker 13.
Yeah, right.
When I went to school, I went to the University of Albany, and I got involved in like some student government stuff. And then I got involved in event production where, a speaker would come or a band would come. And it was just so thrilling to me. And then my senior year, I actually got the job as the program director where I came up with ideas of these different things, throwing a concert. I made up this thing, Search for $100, which was $1,000, which was a scavenger hunt. And it was supposed to get the kids who weren't in fraternities out of the dorms, make them feel like they were a part of something, and what it turned out is that I just loved coming up with an idea, producing it, and executing it on event day. And to me, that just lit a spark that when I got into television, it was something I could do every day, every day. So I did not go to school for it. I didn't take one communications class. I had to learn as I went along, but and that's one of the things that I talk to my interns about all the time, when I have the morning show's over, but just saying, hey, go with the flow, the plan, you can throw the plan out the window. If your heart's saying go somewhere, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
When you look back on it, you're like thinking to yourself, 30 plus years, how many seasons? 31 years at Maury, right? 31.
It was 24 years at the Maury Show. And then I started a couple of other talk shows like the Montel Williams Show. I was around back in 92.
Oh, wow.
And Gordon Elliott Show. Okay. And I had done a year with Gail King that we tried to launch a show up in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Gail, let me tell you something. It was
She's
funny.
Phenomenal.
The Gail King Show was supposed to be a half an hour show, and it was a compliment to the Martha Stewart Show. And the show only lasted a year, but she was one of the nicest, kindest, most gracious human beings I'd ever met in my entire life. And still to this day, I'll email her back and forth once in a blue moon. I'm just so happy that her career is where it is, because she is who she is. She says what she means what she says. She is no BS. And those are the people I like to associate with and hang out with, much like the two of you.
When you look at all of these projects, so many of them, and like most of, Montel being another one. I mean, that was like such a staple for so many people in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
What is it? What is the formula? Have you figured out the formula? Because shows come, shows go. Viewer habits have changed so much from the 90s to the early 2000s to where we are in 2022. How does one stay on top of it and keep it all relevant and moving?
You know what? That's the $1 billion question. I think when you're talking about a single host talk show type of situation, a lot of people used to think it's easy to do a talk show. You just get some people on, they have a problem, you put them on the stage and, and we'll talk to them. And it couldn't be the farthest thing from the truth.
It's really difficult.
It's first of all, you really do need a great host. And Maury made it look easy. He's 81 years old.
Who knew? 81 years young.
81 years young. The guy still has his fastball. He still has his curveball. He's got a Phil Necro knuckleball. He really is just an amazing broadcaster. But that came from, he started broadcasting when he was a teenager, when he was like 18, 19 years old on the radio, Yeah. So that's, practice makes perfect. He was great. It also, a lot of talk show hosts like to talk. And it's one of the keys for, I think, what a great talk show host or a great broadcaster is to listen.
Yeah.
God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, listen twice as much.
That's
it. There's so many times where a host wants to, put their opinion out there or just, let people talk. That's what they're here for. They're here to get it out. They're here. And as a producer, what I really believe, to do the job right as an executive producer, as just a segment producer, as a PA, you have to ingest the material. meaning that the stories that people tell you from the minute you get on the phone with them, you got to sort of really inhale them and bring them in. And there's a love there, because you have to experience what's going on with them a bit. Obviously, you're not dealing with a 100th of what they're going through.
Yeah.
But if you can really get a true, honest glimpse into how they're feeling, what they're going through, you'll be better at telling their story,
Absolutely. Sue, is your phone next to your mic at all? Is your phone nearby?
No, I don't hear anything.
Paul, is your cell phone nearby?
Yeah, but it's not ringing.
No, I know. It makes that fluttering noise by the mic.
Oh.
So if you just
done.
If you put it on your lap, it's better.
Yeah,
just
I think I want
to. On the floor, I'm going to step on it.
Yeah, just step on it.
No, but what I'm curious, go ahead, Scotty. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sue. Go ahead.
No, what I'm curious about, 30 years, like you created such a family with the Maury Show. So many people that have been with you since the inception.
Yes.
There must have been such a huge responsibility for you and for Maury to keep it all going. I mean, there's so many people that depend on you, that need you, that are loyal to you. Like,
yeah.
How did that feel to have that intensity for that breadth of time?
You know what Maury said towards the end, and the way it ended was a little bit strange because of just some press stuff that wasn't supposed to. Somebody wrote an article that really wasn't true, and then it kind of took off. But Maury went out on his terms, 100%. It was decided a couple of years ago that this would be the last deal, the last 3-year station deal. He didn't have to do that.
Right.
He didn't have to spend another 3 years doing this. He works hard. He studies hard. Mm-hmm. He always brings his A game. Mm-hmm. But at 78 years old, did he really need to be chasing people down the hallway?
No.
I don't know. Yeah. But what he'll tell you is that he felt a deep, deep responsibility for the families, because now people who we hired years ago now are putting their kids in college.
Right.
And that was, the amazing part of it at the wrap party. When I gave a speech, I basically said he was able to make people's dreams come true. Mm-hmm. And not in that sort of whimsical way where, I was 29 years old when I started with him. And my dream was to meet a great woman, to have a home, have a family, have kids.
Wow.
And without that job, without him coming to work every day, being as good as he is, and we all put our hard work in. But there was my dreams came true, and so did a lot of other people. And Maury really, really felt strongly about continuing this as long as he could for that reason only.
Yeah, and Paul,
beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing in our industry.
Yeah,
it really is.
And it was great because when we were on Pix 11, it was he would always come in. Every time the new season started, he and Jerry and they would all come in. When you guys, when the if you can remember back, were you there when the first you are not the father stuff kicked in? Did you ever think that would become, back when you first did it? Did you ever think that and the lie detector, all that would become like the staple of the show?
This is a true story. Amy Rosenblum,
we know Amy
Rosenblum, who was the executive producer at the time. I was the co-executive producer.
Yeah.
We were standing on the floor. This was the first time we had done this episode.
Right.
And two very interesting things happened. First off, when we were briefing Maury, Amy was about to tell him the result. And Maury said, "Hold on. I don't want to know." He's like, he said, "If I know what the result of the paternity test is, I'm going to possibly even subconsciously skew the questions."
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So he wanted to learn, from that moment on, he wanted to learn like everybody else was learning at the same time. Now, after that result came out on that show, Amy turned to me and said, "Paul, I think we're going to get fired after the show." And that's true. We didn't know how Maury was going to react, how it all played out. And it turned out that the viewers really liked it.
Loved it. Yeah.
And you know what? It's that the paternity genre, say, or the paternity, on the Maury Show, it's really taken so many twists and turns over the last 2 decades. Like, you have to think of it this way. When we started in 1998, there was one computer in the office that had America Online that was connected to the internet.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Think of how old the iPhone actually really is. You know,
really, I know.
What, 12, 13 years old.
Yeah. And Facebook, 2008, you know, the inception of
right.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. You think about that. We were doing stuff with, you know, for almost a decade before any of those social media platforms. So these paternity tests, these lie detector tests, they really meant so much to a lot of people, because say you're, you know, it's almost like when you were in high school and somebody was spreading a rumor about you, right. And when you were young and it was tearing you apart, and you wish you could just get everybody in the auditorium to tell them the truth, you know? Yeah. And that's what these shows did. It's like we gave them their day in court. And then as, you know, as the years went on, it just took on different iterations. And, you know, it's interesting because just when you thought you heard it all, you get a guy who says, you know, I used to play on my uncle's porch with his jar full of uranium.
Right. That was one of the excuses.
That's so crazy.
And you know what? You know he's going to say it because you're reading the pre-interview, but when it comes out of their mouth,
yeah, there's no way I can get you pregnant. And this lady right here, she came in a few times, right? Shalonda.
Shalonda's huge.
She did 19 paternity tests on the show. 19 of them.
Yeah. And you know what? Here's the thing about Shalonda. You know, some people would say, why is she coming back? Why would she come back? I give her a lot of credit. Mm-hmm. She wants to find out the truth.
Want to find out.
And,
you know, and her kid deserves it, right? Yeah. Yeah.
But she's a wonderful woman. She's a really nice lady.
Yeah, and listen.
Favorite guest, Paul. Favorite guest that you've ever had on that you're just like, what, you know, that you're just like, wow, that was something special, or funny, or crazy.
You know what? I can't. It's so hard to answer that. It really is, because there have been.
And they're not celebrities that you'd remember their names. They're just regular people.
They're right. You know what? It's funny when you asked me, you know, when I knew I was coming on the show, I went down to my basement man room, the one I used to spend the time in. And I have all these great pictures of celebrities. And, you know, I've had the opportunity to meet some wonderful celebrities, some really, see, you notice I do that with my hands. I've met some really wonderful people. But then as I'm thinking about sitting down and talking to you guys, like the people who I just are most memorable to me and that I'm proud of, or I don't want to say ashamed of, just sort of like, oh, I remember that, are the guests. You know, I spent my days and nights with the guests and the producers for 26, 24 years, you know.
Listen, I just got a taste of, I had come from a news background, and back in 2004, excuse me, NBC Universal was launching the show called Home Delivery. And for the first time, oh my gosh, look at that. With John Sensio, Egypt Sherrod, who's now on HGTV, and Stephanie, who does so many wonderful things, including on MTV. What was it? God, why am I forgetting?
The documentary.
Yes. She's got a couple of documentaries out, but
she's doing really well.
Yeah, she's doing really well for herself.
So who's the broad all the way on the right?
That's me, a young me at 30,
well,
31.
You
32.
look exactly the same.
You
really do. You have not changed a bit.
There was a lot of highlighter right there around my eyes, but yes. Johnny Ottavino, I loved him. But anyway, that's the set of the show that we were doing, the home delivery show. And for the first time in my life, I actually got to figure out how they actually put these shows together. And a lot of it was the blueprint of how they did the Maury show, and how producers work in pods with each other, and how they call these guests, how they find these guests, the background research. I mean, it is pretty phenomenal how Paul not only, you know, taught these generations of future producers, but just how talk is put together, and they just make it look easy. It is just, you know, boards, you know, outline, people, cards. I mean, it's just an incredible amount of work that goes on to producing these shows, and all of these producers that you handpicked, and then painstakingly, I have witnessed teaching people how it's done and how it's executed. I learned so much that year on the road on how to be able to do that. And, that was just a whole other animal. And, I really, and it was so much fun, Paul. And it was like some of the best memories ever, for sure.
I don't want to put anybody down, but Suki, by far, you were the crew's favorite to travel with. By far.
I was a good time Charlie because I was the news person.
You were a rock star. When these young men and women were really just sucking wind, you were right there to just pick them up, and it was great.
So many shows. I mean, so many funny. Not funny shows because they're all people who are dealing with things, but just the ironic things that happened. How we did it.
Yeah.
There was this one poor child that needed to. It wasn't even mine, but it was just the poor child needed a prosthetic eye.
Neffy.
Yes, you remember that.
Yeah, little Neffy. I spent the day with Neffy.
You spent the day with Neffy. And poor Neffy was tormented because as a child, your eye socket grows. So your prosthetic eye has to grow with it. I mean, think about it, right? It's
kept
an organ.
popping out. It kept
popping out. And it actually popped out, and it was just really sad, and it was just awful. But what we did was we helped people in their time of need, children who are being bullied. Paul, that show was so ahead of itself. Do you know that?
You know what?
You know how ahead of itself it was? It was 2004 back then.
It was such a big show, and I think that's why just economically, sending 4 hosts all over the country, and it literally was all over the country.
We were.
It just became, it was so costly, but the content was fabulous, and I thought it was like doing a daytime talk show out in the field. And, Suki, you picked up on it instantly. I mean, you could talk to anyone, any time of the day. But I remember it's the learning curve for the hosts.
It was a lot.
Scott, you know what happens? A lot of people, around Thanksgiving, the holiday times, when you meet people, they say, are those guests real?
Right.
Are those people real? They're real. It would be a lot easier if they weren't. You could get some actors, write a storyline, go home.
Right.
You're on the phone with these people 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to do the show. Well, Sukanya's coming to you tomorrow. You have to do the show.
Yeah. It was just incredible, but it was like a crash course in your craft.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
It was a crash course, and as an executive producer, that was to me like, Scotty, you've never seen anything like this. Like, really, honestly, you've never.
It sounds very cool.
It is so detailed, like he said, and so much of your heart and soul as those producers put into it, and and ultimately, all the execs are in charge of the bigger umbrella of what the show was and is.
Yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry, Scott.
No. I was going to say one of our viewers was asking how you guys found the guests for the Maury show. How did they come to you, or did you aggressively
call in? I mean, for the most part, they call in. We'll we used to run a question on the show. Are you going through this type of situation? Before the internet, we used to literally open up letters, and I'd find really great stories from the letters. And you know what? That was one thing that I used to say to the production assistants: grab letters,
open them,
and read them.
Yeah.
I said, you're going to find, we should grab the letters and read them. We used to get bags. But you know what? For someone to pull out a piece of paper, to grab a pen, and to sit and write a real thoughtful letter, that means something right off the bat. So the letters always had a little more weight to them. And then, with Maury, we'd also go after, in the beginning, we used to go after a lot of news stories. Again, because there wasn't Facebook or Instagram. So, unfortunately, when I want to find out the news, I scroll through my Facebook feed, God knows if it's real or not, but at least I get my dose. But back then, a story would break, say, on the nightly news. Or another thing we used to do is get papers shipped in from all the big states.
Wow.
So the paper guy would come in with all these different, papers, the Sun Sentinel, from Texas, from Ohio.
Wow, what research. My God.
And we just sit there. The early researchers would just start flying through the papers, because that's kind of like what a current affair and hard copy did. They would find these little stories from these little towns and make them national stories.
So what, after you did Maury, did you move to the next talk show, or were you producing simultaneously? Is that how your career just sort of
with Montel?
Montel, yes, that's exactly what you were.
Yeah, you know what, Montel, I was there for the first 3 years. And then I had gotten offered a promotion to go to the Gordon Elliott show.
Oh my gosh, Gordon Elliott.
Yeah, and that was a really, that's actually, I met my wife at the Gordon Elliott show.
Wow.
She was an intern, then a PA, then she became an associate producer. And I was a producer. These days that probably wouldn't fly so well. But we were having and again, it was weird. We were both with other people, but and then it turns out that
you're married for so many years and you found the love of your life at your job.
Yeah, and we worked. You know what? We worked as a team and as a great team. And honestly, she was better than I was. She was better than, and she ended up running the People's Court for quite some time.
Wow, People's Court.
That's great. That's great. Paul, listen, you kind of seem to know a little bit about this business and what needs to be done. So when Suki and I are in the studio and this show goes national, you're coming in with us, man. You're our guy.
You're going to be our consultant.
You're our guy. You're in.
Why consultant? I want to work, guys.
No, you just got the showrunner gig right here, right? You're the new showrunner for the Suki and Scott show.
I love it. I love it. You guys are so good, though. I mean, you guys. You probably don't want to hear it, but I love your show, and I really love the way you guys just sort of, you're good. I watched a lot of episodes, as you can imagine. You guys are great listeners, and I think that. The cadence of your show is terrific. It really is. Like it just has a really nice flow and a really nice feel to it. And you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Suk, did you tell him he had to sing before he was going to leave?
No. I wanted to know about the next adventure that he's on, Karamo.
Karamo's up and running, right? You're kind of consulting on that show now?
Yeah. You know what? I was consulting on that show. They have a great team working on that show right now. I did the pilot and helped develop him through the Maury show. Karamo is a really, really incredible talk show talent. And it's very interesting because his history, he basically has overcome every obstacle that a Maury show guest has.
Wow.
And, when they were out selling the show, we used to talk about that, saying, one of the things is empathy and understanding. And he can basically understand anything that someone is going through. So it's not just saying, hey, I read about your story and I bet that's tough.
Yeah.
He could say, hey, I know it's tough.
Yeah.
I've been there. And this is how I got over this hump, and, from addiction to, he actually had a paternity issue in his, he's gay. Mm-hmm. He slept with one woman in his entire life. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, 13 years later, a woman shows up and says, this is your son.
Wow.
And I'm not sure if those are exactly if he was 13 but it was very young. So all of a sudden he was faced with a lot of different issues. He's a great father.
Wow.
But again, he can understand how these situations happen and how to get through the emotional pain of getting that. So he's terrific. He's a wonderful guy. And I think the show is going to do great.
Yeah, no, cool. It looks like a good show. And I want to congratulate you on your own bobblehead doll.
Oh, man.
Right there.
I wish I could pop this camera off because I should really take you guys into the basement.
Into the basement. Next time you come on, we'll go in the basement.
Next time I'm going to take you to the basement of shame. It's like there's so much stuff I have down there in that room that I just started.
Wait. How many boxes of this do you have down in the basement? Any? You are not the father home game.
I love you.
Oh, that's so funny. Wait,
he's
hold on.
Digging. He's
digging. Oh, there he is. Just in time for the holidays, ladies and gentlemen.
Just in time.
You are not the father home game.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. It's actually a funny game. There was it was very lighthearted, and one of the things that it was very important, and still to this day, because the Maury Show Digital is still up and running, and there's still new content going on. And if you go to themauryshow.com or you go to the Instagram pages, stuff like that. But on the show, it was always very, very important. And I would say this to the interns, their first day of work, when they would come in, and I'd say, the guests are our guests.
Yeah.
Treat them as such, as in a guest in your own home. You take care of them, you respect them, you give them shelter, you give them food, and you make sure that they feel comfortable. I said, because at the bottom of your paycheck is their name. I'm like, they sign our paychecks.
Right.
So, so that's what I said to Mattel when it came down to developing this game. I said, let's celebrate the nuttiness, but we're not going to sit there and make fun of people and make fun of their stories, because their stories are very important.
Yeah.
But the game is cute. It's fun.
Okay,
Paul,
cool.
listen, man, absolutely, just an honor to have you on, man. What a great career, and
so much fun.
Listen, you look like a young enough guy. You need something else to take up
so
some time.
young. He is so young and has done so much.
Yeah, I mean,
Hence
listen,
the dark lighting.
Yeah, you look way too tan and relaxed.
I was actually away this weekend. Yeah, my wife turned 50, so we went away for the weekend.
Oh, congratulations!
Congrats,
Happy
congrats.
birthday!
Thank you so much, my man. I really appreciate you coming on. And
anytime, if there's anything I can ever do, and I'd love to come on again if you ever need anything. But this was probably the most fun I've had in the last 60 days.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. We love it.
You're the best. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
guys.
Thank you. Paul. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sook, look at you back in the day, huh?
So crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, wow. You know what? I never even knew. I only recently found out about you doing that show, because I thought I knew everything about you. And I really didn't. But
yep, I had a syndicated show.
You had a syndicated show?
Yep,
look at you.
Yeah, look at me. Look at me.
Unbelievable. You need another syndicated show. Can't
we
you
have
do something?
one right here.
Can't you
We're going to get it syndicated. We're
Can't
going
you
to
do
get
something
everything
for
going
us,
on.
Suki? I mean, look, is this syndication?
That's
I don't know.
that's kind of like
what is
our
this?
way of syndicating. Yeah, why not?
By the way, Sloop, did I mention we were up in Times Square? No.
Yes, look at that. We are up in Times Square.
Some big executive producers got to walk by and see that. No,
what's that? They're gonna like, who's that?
Yeah, who are these two schmucks? Anyway, Sook, listen, Ryan Pratton's coming up in just a second. I love this guy. You know, I love impressions. We have some great people who come on and do impressions. But first, we've got a new customer, a new client for all of our viewers. Sook, you know when you use a dustpan and you got to bend down.
I have a dustpan over here. It's a pain.
Right, but you got to bend down and brush it in.
Yeah.
And check this out for everybody out there. You got to watch this. Take a look.
What you're seeing is a revolution in broom technology. Bending down is no longer needed to use a broom and a dustpan. Introducing the one-step broom. Just step, hook, lift. The patented hook and lift system brings the dustpan up to you. Bending down is no longer necessary. The one-step broom also has a revolutionary dual-sided broom head. It has high-density dry bristles on one side for sweeping up dry debris, and rubber bristles for wet spills that form a rubber wall to push liquid into the dustpan. Step, hook, lift. Sweep up in the kitchen, work areas, and outdoors. Just step, hook, lift. The one-step broom eliminates the bending and makes it fun to sweep up. Step, hook, lift. No bending. The one-step broom comes in beautiful bronze and silver, along with its patented hook and lift dustpan and dual-sided wet-dry broom head. The one-step broom is an American invention that has revolutionized the way you sweep. Go to onestepbroom.com now. That's onestepbroom.com.
It's a great idea.
You need that. OneStepBroom.com, people. Jeannie Clay, go get yourself a new broom, young lady. We got it all for you. Anyway, so listen, Ryan Pratton's coming up, man of many voices. He's an actor, comedian, impressionist. Let me give you a little taste, and then I didn't want to show you any impressions off the bat because I'm sure he's going to do some. Here's a little bit of his acting prowess right here.
And if it doesn't feel right, it's not going to work. I love you. But I love you like a brother.
An Amish brother.
Let me sell your car.
Huh? Yeah, it's fine. I just bought a new one online, so you can do whatever you want with it.
I will do what I want with it. I'm gonna sell the crap out of this thing. Miss, are you interested in buying? Oh, shit! Oh, you made me curse! That stings like a beast on me! Ow! Ow! Wait, no, it got me in the glasses. I'm fine. Oh, you scared me. I thought you got me in the face with that.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, Ryan.
Hey, guys.
Ryan, how are you, buddy? Thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, my gosh. You guys are awesome. Thank you for having me. Hey, that one-step broom. I have OCD, so I think this is genius. The foot is the most underutilized appendage, right?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Everything, you know, flushing public toilets, opening doors. Just keep these hands clean. I'm on board.
It's beautiful. You never have to bend down to sweep it up again.
Terrible back issues. This is I'm serious.
Never bend.
Suki, you just had a little animal in the background of your kitchen. Do you realize that?
Oh, I did.
There was
I
an
did.
animal.
And he's
something
ripping
crawling
apart
around.
crap. You can see stuff that's little white balls. He's ripping apart stuff.
Ryan, listen, man. I was flipping through Instagram and I noticed like I know during COVID you like blew up on there's Leo. You blew up on like TikTok and everything because you're banging out impressions left and right. And the one that I because I'm a huge Ozark guy, saw you doing Jason Bateman, and I was just like, here, hold on, real quick. I came across this, Suki. This is the reason why I was like, oh, we got to get this guy on. What?
Hey, buddy, you might want to wash those hands before you eat. I've seen boogers and mud and God knows what else on those little dirty phalanges. Okay? Or just stick them right in there. Okay, a lot of germs.
So that's my niece Hadley. I have a nephew and a niece, and they're just adorable. And I'm like always wanting to like do videos with them. And my nephew's like he really wants to stick to the SAG, the union rules. He's like, you got me for 30 minutes. You got to get a Coogan account, and I don't do it for anything less than like scale plus 50.
In and out. I think scale's around $300 these days.
I know. I'm like, look, buddy, you and I both.
Oh, it's so great, man. And you've been like, so you're in LA, right? You've been doing the acting thing for like 15 years now, and you like, what do you do for a living, or does the acting and the impressions and the comedy does that make enough money for you, or you do it? That's all on the side for you.
So a lot of it's like, as far as getting, SAG benefits and keeping the lights on, it's mostly commercials.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started doing that. I grew up in Sacramento, and so San Francisco's got a really good market there for that. So I kind of like put my toe in the pond, like, all right, am I going to really go for this? And started working there. And the first commercial I ever did was this national for Nike, and it was when LeBron James was coming into the NBA. And I learned a great lesson that don't tell people you're in a commercial until it airs, because there's a good chance you're getting cut. So I had everybody call me like, yo, man, I see the spot. Where are you? And I'm like, that's my foot. Yep, it got me.
That's me.
Yeah, so yeah. But yeah, so just a lot of commercials, and that clip that you showed is a really fun, rom-com I did with Chloe Tracos, who's a wonderful actress and writer, producer. She's on Righteous Gemstones, and so
on HBO,
yeah, she's excellent. So we kind of found each other. We did that film together, and we just finished a really fun pilot called Past You on Pico. We just did the finished post on that, so hopefully that'll be coming out soon.
As in Pico Boulevard, Pico Lane. What is that? Pico right?
So Pico Boulevard is a very strict Orthodox Jewish community, and so Chloe is Jewish, and this is kind of a mockumentary that's set in this community, and I'm kind of an outsider that is pretending to be more Orthodox than he actually is to meet a wife. So it's good. It's all very sweet, kind of family friendly comedy, which is kind of my fave.
Which is kind of what we need.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that's what I like about your guys' show. It's excellent. It's really sweet, and it just brings positivity, which
that's it. We're just here to have some fun and goof around, and
nothing
too deep.
Yeah.
Nothing too deep. We follow Pete Davidson's love life and who he's sleeping with. And, it's all
we were just saying, who would you go out with afterwards? And he said Giselle Bundchen, and I said, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I would never go. I wouldn't go near Giselle Bundchen.
Why?
She's got way too much money, Suki. It's just you can't even compete.
You wouldn't want to crawl up those legs and just
if you're offering me a one-nighter with Giselle, sure. listen,
I just talked about Pete Davidson. Who would you do it? I mean, come on, Ryan. You have any suggestions? I mean, after Kim.
I think, gosh. See, my girlfriend's not here right now. Otherwise, I'd be getting dirty looks, So I think once the, I think Bateman would approach this. He'd be like, "Hey, buddy, you are divorcing Gisele Bündchen. I think that's a terrible idea. I think most of the people in this country would probably disagree with you. Okay."
I love that, man. It's so good. I love it.
Are you guys Arrested Development fans? That's one of my all-time
shows. Who he was in there, and who was on that with him? There was another guy on Arrested Development.
So
right?
Will Arnett, Tony.
That's it.
I mean, the whole cast was phenomenal. But those are the guys that I'm typically doing the impression.
I see. I always see. What the hell was that? Was it Halloween back there already?
You gotta cross to the back there.
Do you hear the music from? Pay no attention. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
God, that was funny.
Ryan, he used to clean in the background
during COVID.
He'd be swiffering in the back. It was fantastic, man. Really
That's like my best day. I am all about, AARP activities, gardening, cleaning, cooking. Just get me in the house. This is excellent. COVID was like the best thing to happen to me. I'm like, I have to stay home. This is amazing. I can do my acting here and clean all day. This is outstanding.
That's great. Well, listen, I always see on Instagram, I know, and it must be your girlfriend on the other end. She gives you names and you just bang out like 10 seconds of impressions. So that's what I'm going to do with you right now.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So sure. I'm going to go through 77 names that I've seen you do.
Okay.
And no, I'm just kidding. Not that many. And you just actually, you know what? Here's what I want to try.
Sure.
Do one, and I want, because I know exactly who they are when you're doing them because I've seen you do it so many times. See if Suki can guess. Give her one without saying like a famous celeb. See if she can guess who it is.
Okay.
So, question for you: do you want me to do like a line from something that she might know, or just kind of riff?
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want to do.
Okay. All right. So this is some of my material from when I was doing stand up. So these are celebrities meeting God. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I figured I was gonna live to be at least 80 years old. All right. Guess that's out the window. All right. Yeah. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Damn, it was great. I love what you're doing with all the white.
You know who that is, Suk?
Yeah, Owen Williams.
Owen Wilson.
Whatever his name
There you
is.
go. All right. Go ahead. Keep going, Ryan. Go ahead.
So, one of the first, a lot of old school stuff. Like when I first started, I was a huge Three Amigos fan, Steve Martin and all those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I was the only child running around quoting Joe Mantegna, and and John Lovitz. He's like, what did he say? He said that to me today, Mr. Blegelman.
That's
one of my favorites. But I'd say Ashton Kutcher is probably another one that
go ahead.
That does pretty well. I kind of learned to do this impression because I had a crush on this girl who was obsessed with him. This is when that 70s show was on. So I started growing my hair out. I started wearing backwards hats, and I'm just like, so what do you want to do this weekend for fun? And she's like, why are you talking like that? I'm like, I think this is just how my voice sounds, Jackie. Oh, burr! I did not end up dating her. That didn't work. So
it didn't work, huh? Do David from Schitt's Creek. I like that one.
His is very much like you got to kind of get into the body with some of these, and his is just always you just tell he just looks like you're gonna get him dirty, which is kind of like me. But that's gonna be a hard pass. I'm not really in the mood to be the victim of a hate crime tonight. I got to figure out how to do a Eugene Levy impression. I've been kind of working on it. I've got the eyebrows. My buddies in high school called me Scorsese with my bushy eyebrows. So I'm like kind of playing with that one. It's in that world. It's not quite there yet, but that's something that's in the cooker.
Give me a little Brad Pitt on the breakup.
Oh, Brad Pitt. Again, the way you posture your mouth. Come on, man. Delicious.
It's so good. I love that. And McConaughey.
Oh yeah.
All right, listen to me. All right, there's certain ways to follow this impression. All right, sometimes you need a little trigger word, something to get your gears rolling. All right, McConaughey's more personality. All right, trying to throw in some S's to get that whistle in there. All right.
That was spot on. Wow.
You got the vocal fry. Who else?
Going down, jog down jog down the street. First rule: jog down the street. He's Matthew McConaughey, shirt off. All right. All right. No wind resistance. You follow. All right.
And how about who else do you have on here? Well, you do like Nicholson, little Trump, little Seinfeld, right?
So it was funny when I did Seinfeld on TikTok.
Oh my gosh, Joe.
So my girlfriend Lisa, she's a producer. She was on TikTok before me. She's like, you should be doing this stuff on there. You know, we're locked up in COVID. She's like, you should be on TikTok doing this stuff. And so she's like, apparently with Gen Z, the B movie is like famously bad or something. So they kind of watch it and make fun of it. So I was like, this is great. These people don't know what Seinfeld is. They have no idea who I am. But I'm going to go on here and say, I can't be a pollen jock. I can't carry all this pollen from here to there. I don't know this muscle.
It is so true. They know the B movie. That is so true.
How about Nicholson?
I'll tell you, there's several ways to do a good Jack. So I actually, one of the first impressions, so A Few Good Men, just one of the films that made me want to be an actor. I was like, I always thought like, oh, I think I might want to be a lawyer. And then I watched that and I was like, I think I want to be a lawyer on TV. And my parents were like, well, it all worked out though. But quoting, I'm a fair guy, but this heat is making me absolutely crazy.
You come down here, Danny boy, with your fancy little outfit.
You can have all the transfer orders you want, Danny. You gotta ask me nicely.
Just gotta ask me nice. Say please. That's great. Let me see a couple. Oh, how about Mark Wahlberg? I thought you did pretty well.
Oh yeah, guy. He's just intimidating. All right. Hey, DoorDash. Yeah, it took you about 5 minutes too long. I want that tip back. Give me cash back. $5.25 right in my pocket. Okay.
So good.
Could you imagine like his kids' teachers? That would be so intimidating. You're just like that. You're going to like the parent-teacher meeting, and they're like, "Well, your son has been acting out a little bit." Oh, really? I think I got an answer for that. Like this guy wakes up at 3 a.m. to work out every day. It's like I don't want to be on the other end of a conflict.
Yeah, that's his first workout of the day. The 3 a.m. Ryan, where can people find you, my man?
So, celebrities in my head. That's
perfect.
Celebrities in my head.
Yeah, so that's kind of it's on. I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and kind of developing a new show right now, actually about OCD, and it's gonna have elements of the voices and impressions in there. So it's been a fun way to like connect with people, and you can go on Cameo, and I'll do cameos as Bateman. I get a lot of requests to kind of roast people for their birthday as Bateman. So
I love that.
I love it. So like to pretend it's like Suki's birthday. Well, how would you roast? Or do you usually?
I always start out, hey buddy, everything he says is just like, you're so lucky to have me here for your birthday. How many candles are we gonna have to put on that cake? Okay. I had a couple of these, like the more information people give, the better. And I'm like, this is such great material. I'm like, this is, people are like, oh, it's my husband's birthday. he's turning 50, and I'm like, hey, buddy. Apparently he's a hunter. I'm like, you do they make scopes with bifocals? Huh?
Oh my God. And you must get so much stuff out of Ozark, man, from him. That's got to be, a plethora of material.
I love Ozark. I kind of created my own mashup called Ozark Development. So it's all the characters.
Oh my gosh.
Of Arrested Development that Bateman's bringing in to help them launder money for the cartel. So it's basically, I never got to be on Arrested Development, so this is my way of just living my best life. I'm like, oh, I'm not on Arrested Development, I'll just do it myself. So I have like, I got Buster and Will Arnett on there. It's like, it's an illusion, Michael.
That is so good, man. I love it. I love it. And there was one more I thought you did. Oh yeah, you actually did Trump. I thought was pretty decent. No,
thanks. There's so many guys out there that are doing Trump, but I did pepper him in recently. But I'd have to say this is a great interview, really good interview, one of the greatest interviews that's ever been given. Ever. A lot of people say great things about me on this interview.
I love it. I love it. And the last one I'll have you leave off with is Vince Vaughn.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought this went really great. I think we knocked it out. It's a little hot here. I got the air conditioning on in October. It's so hard to find a Halloween costume. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd rather just keep it light. We're gonna throw a big party here. Maybe go wall to wall with Santa.
I love it, man. I love it. Ryan, you're
Ryan,
fantastic.
thank you so much.
So good. I love it.
Thank you guys. I've got a lot of friends and family watching. They're loving it.
Tell them again where they could find you, because once we're done with this, it airs on so many different places, man.
Oh, cool. So celebrities in my head, on Instagram and TikTok.
So it's just real easy. Celebrities in my head, and it's Ryan Pratton. And listen, bro, just keep doing what you're
talented.
doing. And,
thanks, guys.
We'll see you on Kimmel.
Good luck on your project. It sounds amazing.
Yeah. That would be great.
I hope it gets greenlit.
Hey, and I hope you guys get the syndication. You'll get it. You're doing great.
We will.
I'm telling you. Times Square.
Nothing's gonna stop us, Ryan. Nothing's gonna stop us.
Ryan, we didn't come this far just to get this far.
Yeah. Hey, if I can do anything to help, let me know. I know not too many people, but I can talk to. I've got at least 50 friends on.
I know a guy that's like in a sheet walking around.
Somebody's walking around in a sheet.
I mean, that guy's got connections written all over him.
Connections.
Unbelievable. Ryan, thank you, my man. Enjoy Halloween.
So talented, Ryan.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Really.
Come back on again, my friend.
Oh my gosh, if you'll have me, absolutely. Thanks,
all right,
guys.
My man. Good luck, bud.
We gotta have him on for the holidays.
Take care. That's so good.
Right?
I'd like to see him sitting with John DiDomenico.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be good.
Going back and forth with the names. Anyway, so Philly Kids coming on in a sec, Sue. Great show tonight.
Great show. Where did that guy
Paul
go?
Fallhaber. What's that? Leo?
Give me Leo.
You didn't notice your husband was also down below. Like he was. All I saw was his hands.
My husband was on his knees opening up the drawer.
Doesn't he know he's
Eric,
welcome? He's welcome anytime on the show.
Just come by and say hello. Just come by. Just say hello.
Where is
Just say hello.
Oh, you look better with the sheet.
He said you look better with the sheet.
Thanks.
So funny.
Put up that picture of him and your mom.
Oh, do I still have that?
Eric.
Oh, Suk, I took it down.
This is the funniest picture.
I took it down.
Oh my God, the funniest picture. And then Scott's commentary on it was hysterical.
Wait, hold on. Let me see.
When I'm dancing with his mom.
When you dance with his mom.
Oh, that's so
But Scotty found like this picture and he's like, why is my mom blind?
Well, I don't have it up there anymore. What did I say? Why is she what?
You see, because she was wearing glasses.
Oh, she looked like
Remember?
she was blind. Yeah. Oh,
she was
my
like, because
God.
Eric was holding her.
Oh man, I took it off. Did I take that picture off?
And his mom's a sweetheart.
Oh, he loves your mom.
Ah, the best, my mother, the best.
The best.
The best. Anyway, so Philly Kid's going to come on, Suka. I'm going to pop on a little interlude so you can go.
All right, babes.
And let me just, what the hell did I put? Oh, so yeah, it's just our country singers. Hopefully, no, I'm going to put this up, Suk, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, babe. Here we go.
Goodbye, love.
George's earwax all over your ears.
That was
It's all right, man. You know, we brothers to the end and shit.
Funny, man.
What radiates off of people? Now you two are reeking of Pia. You know, and that's why this is a sexy show. You know what I mean?
You both got dinner on me.
Dude, can you imagine us having dinner with Lou Gossett Jr.?
No, I can't imagine it.
I got a call.
One thing we can gather is we've got to be free. Come together right now.
Thank God I finally have somebody who's super professional. You guys nailed it. You're great. You ask great questions. You listen.
They say that the road ain't no place to start a family.
I'm really beaming. I'm really steaming.
Yes.
His name is Willie Beeman.
He's really steaming. And we go like this.
One floor below me, you don't even know me. I love you.
I am a zombie apocalypse. I have a backpack. I know how to kill. I know where to get canned goods. I am ready for where this world's going.
I was just, sitting here in the backstage area, and you guys have such amazing energy. And that is really, really, really something that inspires me, encourages me, and enlightens me. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you. We're so happy to have you here.
You said you were homeschooling. I see your daughter. She's so cute. She's running around there. I mean,
unicorn.
Is that unicorn?
Just like me, I had the talent, but was I strong enough to be able to deal with what was going to come at me at those times? And a lot of times we wasn't that strong enough.
John Lennon was off the grid for a while in 1980. He was ready to come back. He was doing some recording, right? And he started hearing these different tunes from different artists, and it kind of fired him up, right, to get going again.
That's exactly right. He had taken a 5-year sabbatical, kind of concurrent with the birth of his son, Sean, in 1975, on John's birthday, October 9th.
Did you ever imagine the journey leading you all the way over here to an Oscar, and you continue to create and kind of redefine the genre?
Speak out!
Tell him, Suki. Tell him what we're going to do.
Watch it, Suki Scott. Carol.
Yeah,
Carol.
what she said. You'll see it coming out later.
We continue to be bosses and presidents of companies.
Do you
and
hear
let's keep
the
those women
people
down.
singing the songs of angry men?
Saving yourself, the rest is up to me. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Good morning, Baltimore.
Those raindrops are falling on my head and they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun. And I said I didn't like the way he got things done.
Darling, only the good die young. That's what I said.
I wonder if I'll take you home.
Take you home.
All you need is love.
What? Na.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed that, Scott, and I appreciate that compliment. That's fantastic, Suki. Kanye, very nice to meet you.
Good.
The candy man can, cause he mixes it with love and makes the world feel good. Hold on. Pow, the marbles down.
I went from being just a little unknown girl from the South to all of a sudden I'm like this internationally known person.
He says, thank God, I thought you were sitting on the cat.
JJ's not having a good day at all. You're a puppet. That's how it works. That's where it goes. Yeah.
I was watching some videos today, and I saw you. I don't know how old it was, but it was a bed scene with Halle Berry.
Yes.
Can you just give me a little insight to that?
Yeah,
what that was like?
I'm very often asked that question and say, man, what was it like to have a love scene with Halle Berry? And what I always say is, you need to ask Halle Berry what it was like to have a love scene with Oda Babatunde.
I gotta get her on now. Now I gotta get her on. Hey.
What was the card in your mind, Scott?
I was going 3 of clubs.
Wow, that's a random card. But here, let me ask you something. Scott, have you and I ever met before? Yes or no?
No, sir.
This morning, I had a vision of you. I knew what you looked like from doing research. But this is my friend. His name is, can you see him? There he is. His name is Scott. He looks just like you. Watch him take off his hat. Watch him reach into his hat and take out one card out of every card. Of course, he's going to take out the 3 of clubs. The more you drink, the better the magic. Let's just warm up. Now, let me keep on going.
And when you're putting out dinner for 600 people and you're in a kitchen where, you know, the dishwasher's in the bathroom and the hot water's not working, these things actually really happen. These are things that actually happen on the show.
I'm just a man born black. I'm not a hero. I'm not a martyr.
What you're seeing is a revolution in broom technology. Bending down is no longer needed to use a broom and a dustpan. Introducing the one-step broom. Just step, hook, lift. The patented hook and lift system brings the dustpan up to you. Bending down is no longer necessary. The one-step broom also has a revolutionary dual-sided broom head. It has high-density dry bristles on one side for sweeping up dry debris, and rubber bristles for wet spills that form a rubber wall to push liquid into the dustpan. Step, hook, lift. Sweep up in the kitchen, work areas, and outdoors. Just step, hook, lift. The one-step broom eliminates the bending and makes it fun to sweep up. Step, hook, lift. No bending. The one-step broom comes in beautiful bronze and silver, along with its patented hook and lift dustpan and dual-sided wet-dry broom head. The one-step broom is an American invention that has revolutionized the way you sweep. Go to onestepbroom.com now. That's onestepbroom.com.
Ah, yeah, Philly Kid, onestepbroom.com. Woo! Philly Kid. I guess you can't log on if I don't send you the invite, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and then when I logged into the show, it flashes on the screen. It says your computer, and the guy starts talking. You hear a voice, and he says, your computer is now locked. You must call this 1-800 number.
Oh, no,
to unlock it.
That's a scam right
there. Oh,
there.
yeah, it's a big-time scam.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they tried to rip me off.
Oh, man.
But so what's going on, Scotty?
Nothing, man. You got to get the broom. Got to get that broom. Phil, you never have to bend down again for the broom.
I don't need to be bending down anymore at my age and with my back. That broom would be a godsend. Trust me.
By the way, that little 4 or 5 minute trip down memory lane there was just like a couple of things that we had, and it's some of the stuff I don't even remember until it pops up, and it's just like, oh my god! Even we had you singing on there as a guest, that it was just, it's like that stuff is so old with the old Zoom screens and everything else.
Yeah, but in 2 years there's a lot of content there, man. I'll tell you what.
Oh my god, a lot of content! Wow, 340 shows, all about an hour each, 2 guests. That means we have 680 guests, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, doing good, man.
Along.
Like doing good.
What's the good word, my brother? What's the good word?
Not too much. Very, very busy as usual. In fact, I wrapped up a couple of video auditions right before I logged onto the show. So fingers crossed, one of those hits.
Nice.
But,
you only need the one. Just need the one. Yes, Philly Kid. You just need the one. That's all it is.
Yes. You never know. So hey, I got a little quiz for you.
Go ahead.
So, a singer's birthday today. Famous singer's birthday. He was born October 5th in 1943.
1943.
He's 78 years. He's 78 years old.
78 years old. Give me the song.
Okay, and let me stop singing before you guess.
All right, go ahead.
And one of his tunes went like this. Well, I've been looking real hard and I'm trying to find a job, but it just keeps getting tougher every day. but I gotta do my part, 'cause I know in my heart I gotta please my sweet baby, yeah. Well, I ain't superstitious and I don't get suspicious, but my woman is a friend of mine. And I know that it's true that all the things that I do will come back to me in my sweet time. Continue singing if you know it,
Because
Scotty.
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. Little Stevie Miller, huh?
Yeah, but it's more like, so keep on rocking me, baby.
Keep on rocking. It was funny because I was listening to Howard Stern the other day, and he had Jan Wenner on, who was the guy who started Rolling Stone magazine.
Right.
And he used to hang out with Steve Miller. I mean, he hung out with everybody back in the day. And they were talking about how Steve Miller is such a cranky guy. Like he's never in a good mood. But God, he puts out such great music. How old is he? 73?
78.
78, Steve Miller. Oh my God.
78.
Jungle love is driving me mad. It's making me crazy.
Crazy.
I met you in somebody's island.
This is one of my favorite songs of his from back in the day, but also because it was on the Simpsons episode. Some people call me the space cowboy, yeah. Some people call me the gangster of love. Some people call me Maurice, because I speak of the pompatus of love. Hey, Scotty, what is the pompatus of love?
I was going to say, what's pompatus of love, Philly?
I don't know.
I do know you're the cutest thing that I ever did see. I really love your peaches, wanna shake your tree. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it all the time. Whoop.
Oh man.
Ooh, baby.
We gotta find a good Steve Miller song to duet this weekend.
How about Jungle Love?
Jungle Love.
Driving me mad. It's making me crazy, crazy. Jungle Love. Driving me mad. Didn't they do that on Everybody Loves Raymond, right? They did like a montage to that song where they were all dancing in different scenes.
I think so.
Yeah. I met you in somebody's island. Our boy Jeff says we should do We Go Jet at a Liner. Don't carry me too far away.
Whoa, big old jet airliner, 'cause it's here that I got to stay.
Goodbye to all my friends at home. Goodbye to people I trusted. That might work out well for us.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot and see what happens. But hey, you might need to check around and see if we can get him on the show.
Who, Steve Miller?
Yeah.
We could probably locate Steve Miller. Is he on Instagram? Probably not.
Yeah. At 78, you never know.
Oh, my God.
He may be on MySpace or something.
Yeah. He's definitely not on Instagram. Steve Miller. Phil, have you seen, you had to watch the what's his name? The Jeffrey Dahmer thing on Netflix. Did you see that series?
I've been seeing the trailers for it and whatnot, and I'm real leery of watching it because when I remember when that story first came out.
Yeah.
And I remember being, some of the stories about some of the victims and the cannibalism, and it really just turned my stomach. And I don't know if I could watch that or not.
Dude, if I tell you, I watched the first episode, right? And the first episode is really it kind of, it bounces around, but the first episode is the scene in the apartment where the kid gets away and runs away where he gets caught, right?
Uh-huh.
The kid runs down the street with the handcuffs on, brings the police back, and Dahmer gets caught. I watched that first episode and I was like, this is a little creepy for me. And then I had to watch the whole thing. I watched all 10 episodes because then I was watching it, and they have some episodes about the victims where the whole episode is on that person. So you kind of get to see who they were and how they ended up meeting him and their families and the whole deal. But I was just like, I'm all right. Now I got to get to the end and see when they nail him in prison. But the guy who plays him, I think his name is Evan Peters. He has him down. I mean, you watch the Dahmer interviews from the real interviews, and you watch Evan Peters. They have him down to a T, man. His voice, his mannerisms, the look. But the one thing I thought to myself, I said this to my wife, I said, craziest thing about this Dahmer series, it's real. Everything that happened is real based off of accounts that actually happened in people's accounts and his accounts of what he did. A writer couldn't have come up with this. You'd have to have a sick mind to come up with this creatively to put into a series if it didn't really happen.
Right.
It's there's some, I mean, it's just absolutely insane. But then I got stuck on it, and I was like, I gotta finish it up, just to see, you see why the guy in prison who flipped his lid killed him in prison. And it was just, and then I every time something happened, I had a Wikipedia just to see if they were accurate. And a lot of that stuff was pretty accurate based on, stories. And I mean, the kid who escaped his apartment told police exactly what happened in the apartment, and they recreated that scene. And it was just like, holy mother of pearl. And I guess when he got caught, he told the police everything. So they basically had everything on record from what he told them and what he did with absolutely insane.
Yeah. So yeah. I've seen it come up, on Netflix. I'm like, I'm not ready to watch that quite yet.
Yeah, but, and then you see how many times the Milwaukee police had him, and they let him go.
Yeah.
Like they just had him a couple times and they let him go. Like, he had bodies and bags in the back of the car. He was drunk driving and they just let him go. It was wild.
Wow.
So, yeah. So it's
crazy.
It's a crazy series, but anyway.
I've been watching Better Call Saul.
Oh, you're back to Saul again? You rewatch it?
Yeah. I'm finishing that up. It's pretty good. The only thing about that I don't like is, it's kind of a prequel to Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And, and I've seen Breaking Bad. So you see parts in Better Call Saul, which is the prequel, and you go, well, I'm not that scared of something happening to this guy because he's in Breaking Bad. So I know he's not going to die.
Nothing's happening. And does Bryan Cranston make an appearance in Saul? He made a couple of appearances, right? Or no?
I don't know. I haven't got that far. If he has, I haven't got to him yet.
Oh, is this the first time you watched it?
Yeah, this is the first time.
Oh, I thought you saw it and you just redoing it.
Well, no, I watched 2 or 3 episodes and then I'll get caught up on some other series or movies or whatever. Then I go back. So
I hear you. Beautiful. All right, Philly kid. Well, listen, let's talk. Somebody let's see. Eric Buniak. My boy Eric said, you guys should do a duet of Motown Philly.
Motown Philly's back again.
Doing a little East Coast swing. Boys to men going on. Not too hard, not too strong. So it's so funny.
Yeah, that was a good group back in the day.
You want to light it up? What do you got? What do you want to sing, man? It's been a while.
Let's see here. Yeah. How can we? Let's do a.
I mean, I've been reduced to playing you on video. I mean, we did a concert last night, you and I, with some songs.
Nice. Let me see here. Well, yeah, I had a bunch of songs lined up, but when I had to restart my computer, everything got wiped out.
Lost them.
So let's do it. Hey, I tell you what, somebody give me some requests.
Oh, Philly's taking requests, ladies and gentlemen. The request line is open here at WSUCFM.
It's got to be something I've done before because I don't want to mess something up.
Maybe
a little Elvis.
Do Elvis. Do a little Lionel Richie. Do a little what's the one I love? Tennessee Whiskey's always good. Bro, I got a couple new ones for you that are really good, really popular. I'm telling you, your voice is perfect. Perfect. And I forgot the artist. That guy Morgan Wallen is all over the place. He's really good.
Oh man, that dude's on fire.
Yeah. Whiskey Glasses. Morgan Wallen. There's another guy who, yes, I can't remember, but hey, do a little Tennessee whiskey, man. It's always everybody's favorite. Little Chris Stapleton.
All right, let me pull up some lyrics here.
Spend my nights out in a bar room. You're smooth.
Okay, and it goes a little something like this.
Light it up, baby. Light it up.
Used to spend my nights out in a bar room. Liquor was the only love I've ever known. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottom. And you brought me back from being too far gone. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. Now I've looked for love in all the same old places. Found the bottom of a bottle's always dry. But when you poured out your heart, you know I didn't waste it, baby. 'Cause there's nothing like your love to get me high. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy, baby. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. Yes.
Yeah, baby. Somebody wrote, how about a wait, what did that say? Johnny Cash. What? Johnny Cash, his wife has passed away yesterday? No, that was Loretta Lynn, Dora. Loretta Lynn, not Johnny Cash's wife.
Yeah, Loretta Lynn passed away.
Yeah, June Carter Cash. She passed away a while ago, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, Loretta Lynn. Who was somebody said Anita said, how about a little BJ Thomas? He was in that little montage. Can't believe he passed away, BJ Thomas.
I know.
And you and I were one of I think that may have been like the last interview he did.
I think it was because it wasn't long afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know that he was on anywhere else.
Yeah, not that I know of. Great guy, great guy, man. Sorely missed. And but he had one that was about 40 years old and everybody loved. And it goes a little something like this.
Light it up, baby.
Raindrops are falling on my head. And just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun. And I said I didn't like the way he got things done. Sleeping on the job, those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know, the blues they send to meet me won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Ba-boom, da-da-do. Ba-boom, da-do-do. Raindrops keep falling on my head. But that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Scotty?
Crying's not for me. Those raindrops are falling on my head. They keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun. Philly kid, take it. I said I didn't like the way he got things done. Sleeping on the job.
They keep falling. But there's one thing I know. The blues they send to meet me, they won't defeat me. It won't be long, Scotty,
till happiness has come to greet me.
Steps up to greet me. Yeah.
Right. I was close. I was close. Da-da.
Raindrop. You know, when he was on the show, we actually got him to sing that song, remember?
Yeah, we got him to sing that, and we got him to sing I Can't Fight This Feeling Deep Inside of Me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me when you hold me in your arms so tight. You let me know, Philly, everything's all right.
I'm hooked on a feeling, high on believing that you're in love with me. Who got Chaka?
Lips as sweet as candy. The taste is on my mind. Phil, did you see this picture of Suki here from this show she used to be on?
Can
you see the screen?
Oh my gosh.
You see her
Yeah,
there all the way on the right? So funny, right?
That's an awesome photo.
That's so funny. Wow.
Suki is a beautiful woman. She is.
She's a fine looking woman, boy. Hi, Philly kid. How do you want to take us home, baby? How do you want to take us home?
Are there any more requests?
Any more requests? Let me see. Request. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. BJ Thomas again. BJ Thomas. Why don't you finish us off with some Elvis?
Okay. Let's see.
Elvis.
Okay.
Do you know Crazy Love? Devon Burns said sing Crazy Love, Phil.
I'd rather finish off with some Elvis.
All right, light it up with a little Elvis.
I already had the
you sing Elvis over our billboards in Times Square, Phil. Go ahead. You sing Elvis.
Nice. Okay, here we go. Lyrics. Okay, goes a little something like this.
Light it up, brother. Light it up.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you.
Thank you, Philly Kid. Good to see you, my man.
Same here, Scotty.
We'll see everybody next week. More shows coming, more big news ahead, and blah, 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 blah. Philly Kid, love you, my friend. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
See you, buddy. Take care.
Good night, everybody.
What you're seeing is a revolution in broom technology. Bending down is no longer needed to use a broom and a dustpan. Introducing the one-step broom. Just step, hook, lift. The patented hook and lift system brings the dustpan up to you. Bending down is no longer necessary. The one-step broom also has a revolutionary dual-sided broom head. It has high-density dry bristles on one side for sweeping up dry debris, and rubber bristles for wet spills that form a rubber wall to push liquid into the dustpan. Step, hook, lift. Sweep up in the kitchen, work areas, and outdoors. Just step, hook, lift. The one-step broom eliminates the bending and makes it fun to sweep up. Step, hook, lift. No bending. The one-step broom comes in beautiful bronze and silver, along with its patented hook and lift dustpan and dual-sided wet-dry broom head. The one-step broom is an American invention that has revolutionized the way you sweep. Go to onestepbroom.com now. That's onestepbroom.com.
Can I interest you in a mojito? Right, so you look fantastic.